Hi John, do you know how the Aon company work at the sales and distribution?
Can you tell me?
Sure, the SD is start with the inquiry. This is the process the customer will request the company to have the information or a quotation.
After that, they will send the quotation to the customer, that is including the price and quantity. The quotation is legally binding. Both sides need to follow the quotation after the quotation is accepted. The sales order will be made by the customer, and inside that sales order will including the customer information, service or item quantity, price, shipping detail, when to delivery and where to delivery, and the billing information. After the sales order, they still have many work need to do to complete the SD. They still need to check the delivery schedule, shipping point and route determination, availability check, transfer of requirement to MRP, pricing, and the credit limit check. The delivery scheduling is to determine a delivery timeline that will be used when determining the material availability or the availability to promise date. We have two ways to define the delivery scheduling: backward scheduling and forward scheduling. Backward scheduling is from the requested delivery date to the start date. Forward scheduling is from the order date to the delivery arrival date. This step is to check material available date and consider all the movement of the inventory, including the inward and outward. One-time delivery, complete delivery, delayed proposal. It is used the system search for the price, discount, surcharge, calculate taxes and fridges, but they need to manually to enter some of the special condition. This step is check the credit limit of the customer. If the amount is exceed the credit limit of the customer, the order will block. If the customer want to continue, the customer need to clear the previous payment first. After all this process, then we'll move to the shipping and transportation. During the shipping process, they will create a delivery document that include the picking, packing, and post-good issue. In this process, they will pick the item based on the delivery note and assigned date of picking. In this process, they will need to identify the way of packing for the specific item. They also will track the packed item by the container. The main purpose for this process is change the ownership of the product. They will need to reduce the inventory and enter cost of goods sold. Until here, the shipping process have done. Then is the last process, payment. Billing process is generate an invoice to the customer based on the sales order and the delivery document. This is the last process. The customer will make payment to them. Until here, the SD is done. Now we go to the second part. It is the material management MM. In this part, we will start with the purchase requisition. This is the internal company document. Anyone in the company can send a purchase requisition to the purchase department to request the company to buy or get some service or item. After that, the purchase department will request the quotation from their previous vendor. Then they will get many quotations from different vendor. Aon have some of the vendor that have contract with them for long term, such as 5-year, get the item with same price and same vendor. This is one of the sources beside to get the quotation from the vendor. To select the best quotation, they need to have a vendor evaluation that have 99 main criteria and 20 sub-criteria for each main. As an example, I'm going to tell you 3 of them. It was the price, quality, and delivery. 2 of the sub-criteria for price is the price level and price history. Sub-criteria for quality is the good receipt and quality audit. Delivery sub-criteria is on-time delivery performance and the quantity reliability. After evaluation, the company is decide to buy the material from which vendor, so they need to send a purchase order to their vendor. To send a purchase order, they need to refer back to the purchase requisition and the quotation, to let the vendor know what they want to buy and the price and the quantity of the material. They can send the purchase order to the vendor via printed email. A long time ago they used to fax it also. After the purchase order, we will move to the good receipt. The good receipt is the process we accept the goods and get the ownership from our vendor. We will need to check the good by using the purchase order to ensure that the good is come with the correct type and quantity. We need to increase our physical inventory and reduce the inventory GL account. We will get the invoice from our vendor to let us to make payment. We need to refer to the purchase order to get the actual price and the good receipt to get the actual quantity to ensure that the invoice is correct. This is the last step of the MM. In the payment transaction, they need to decide what payment method they will use. They can use the online transaction, check, or other payment method. They need to know which bank is using by the vendor. They need to know that which item to be paid and calculate the payment amount of the item. After that, they need to print the payment medium. In this process, all the financial document will be created for record the transaction and make the accounting record. Until here, all the process of the material management have been done. This is the process how the Aeon get the supply from their vendor. The last part of our video will be the product planning PP. PP is the process how the Aeon produce a product to their customer. PP is start with the forecasting. Forecasting is the foundation of a reliable sales and operating planning. It is very important in the manufacturing sector. They use a few type of forecast models such as the trend and seasonal, and the constant. After that will be one of the most important part of the PP, sales and operation planning. SOP including the information of sales, marketing, manufacturing, accounting, human resources and purchasing. In SOP they will have 3-step sales plan, production plan and rough cut capacity plan. Demand management is used to plan the requirement quantities and date for finished products and important assemblies and definition of the strategy for planning and producing a finished product. It used to link the strategic planning and the detailed planning. In different situation, Aeon will use different strategies. Make to stock. This planning takes place using independent requirement. The sales are covered by make to stock. Make to order. This planning takes place using customer orders. The sales are covered by make to order production. This helped the company to distinguish planning methods between materials that have a strong influence on profit or use critical resources. This is used to calculate the net requirements while considering available warehouse stock and scheduled receipt from purchasing and production. It will produce a detailed production and purchasing plan after the MRP. Logical step of MRP. Make net requirement calculation, make lot size calculation in procurement type scheduling bomb explosion. At this step, I can calculate production dates and capacity requirements for all operation within an order. This step is to check whether the component, production resources, tools, or capacities in an order are available. They will generate an availability log including the result of the check, missing part list and reservations that could not be verified. This step can let Aeon to check and make any preparation needed during the order between the scheduling and releasing of an order. The reservation of the material will be made after the production order have been created. They will make the confirmation to monitor and track the progression of an order through its production cycle. When the production have done, they will need to have an acceptance of the confirmed quantity of product. They will need to update their stock quantity and value. Material document, accounting document and controlling document will be created, consists of settling the actual costs incurred in the order to one or more receiver cost object. This is all the process of production planning. After 3 process of this, we know that how Aeon is working.